trying to frame the mom. Whoever's out there stalking Christile, it is not their first time. It's not their first time creating multiple identities and creating multiple phone numbers and changing their locations just so they could stalk a woman. And there is a lot of potentials to debate here. The messages show that the stalker would have an idea of what their end result was going to be and then completely change their mind and then think about something else. At first, they want to kidnap Christile and likely hold her captive. There are messages of kidnapping her and then the stalker believing that Christile would finally be happy with him. Or if that's too hard, they could just kill Christile. Maybe that's the better plan. Or how about they kill Daniel, Christile's husband, and frame Christile for it? That way Christile won't have anyone. She'll have to come to him, her stalker, right? A nationwide arrest warrant is put out for Anthony, the ex-boyfriend, the stalker. And while they're looking for him, a woman named Carrie is brought into the police station. She explains the same exact thing happened to her during her breakup. I mean, this was a long time ago. So this was when she was in college. So like 15 years ago. And she says, I broke up with him a couple months into my freshman year and he was pretty emotional. I would say sort of desperation would maybe be the word I would use to describe him after the breakup. Of just kind of like, please don't do this, kind of crying, that sort of thing that I can recall. And then I started to get messages from his roommate. That person's name is Tom. And she starts getting these messages and quote, and I know Tom is real because they're roommates. If I called him, sometimes Tom would pick up the phone and they had like a joint phone and a joint room. She says that Tom would message her talking about how her ex wasn't doing well because of the breakup and maybe was gonna be injured. But then turns out Tom isn't Tom. I mean, Tom is real, but Carrie says Tom's messages were being sent by her ex-boyfriend to try and push her closer to her ex again. They're not from the real Tom. They're not from the real roommate. The stalker also created other identities to try and separate her and isolate her from her friends. It kind of ruined her entire college life. Ultimately, all the leads led back to a public library. Even though she and one of the officers that she was working with, I mean, they knew who it was the ex-boyfriend, they just didn't have enough evidence to get him. And so the police were like, okay, and your ex-boyfriend is Daniel Krug.
Damn.
Like, what an idiot I feel like I was after all of this. Because, like you said, you can read through all this and go, well, duh, it's Dan, but when you're in it, you just become so, like, almost crazed by it. You don't know who it is or...
So this lady, Carrie, right? She showed up by herself or was she...
Police brought her in Daniel's sealed records. There was an incident between her and him in college. And the police are like, what are the odds that Christile was being stalked and Daniel has an ex-girlfriend from college that was stalked by Daniel?
Oh, she was stalked.